Cool. And we are back. Where did we left off? We're failing a test with a 500. Oh, crap. Baskets. I think I was refactoring the queries. Okay, that was it. I was still refactoring the queries. So this one should give me everything. That was the one that was failing. Cool. So it's hitting this one. Okay. And that's going through all this stuff. Cool. So now I just gotta graph. This is acting like it's supposed to. I had to run all the tests, make sure I pass everything. So this thing is not gonna run anything because there's none. Oh, okay, still failing. So what did I want to do here? Man, this is dependent on this because I'm not gonna limit anything. I'm actually returning the whole thing. This is gonna be limited to the length of the array that I'm getting back. It's supposed to be 29. What this is gonna do is gonna make the testing database is gonna be static. This is gonna be the final one for the libraries. I'm not gonna add anything new to this, which is fine by me. That means I gotta decouple it on the connects file. Development, about testing, we have this, but the migration seeds needs to be different. Yep, that needs to be different. Because if I add anything on it on the development, it's gonna mess it up. It's gonna mess up all my testing. Did I add a to do here? Did I say that? What did I put over here on the connects file? I don't know. I'm just gonna put it to my, I have a OneNote. Let's see. For projects, everything is here. Anyways, like I was saying, so I have a list of things to do here on OneNote. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that to the list. So decouple my testing migrations from development. That should be fine. And that's gonna be important. Okay. So here, I guess I could say the rest body length needs to be 29. And this thing is okay being at 200. It should now pass. Cool. What happened if I say 28? Now it should fail because it's 29. Oops. There we go. I'm pretty happy with this. I could take that away. This needs to be under documentation. So I'm almost done with the libraries router. That should be fine. Development, library. Oh boy. This should be an easy like decouple. Oh man, that does not scale. That does not scale at all. Huh. That's why I had nothing here. But that's because I have it for the production level. Everything is here. This is tedious. It's just another to do. So move all documentation from development to deploy. That is also important. So I could just deal with it now and make a list of it and just move it on later. I'll have to manually do it, but I could just copy paste it, so it's not a big problem. I guess I could answer that question and just say that if you don't select at least a option, no default values will activate. No, will change the server from returning responding with all the libraries. That has nothing to do with that. I'm okay with even that just because I asked myself that question and have it there. That's the clearest I could make it at the moment. I'm specifically answering your question beforehand. Okay. Um, I could also say if there is no options selected, response with all libraries. Okay, I'm happy with this. Let's start documenting everything. So, with this thing, actually, isn't those two the same? And the reason why this one didn't fail was just because of that. Because I'm not checking did it return everything, because before you didn't have an option. I was just checking that you returned something. Which, if that is so, that means I could move this away from here. See, this is what I need to get more comfortable on VIM. Selecting a whole block like that, line 18 to 25, and replacing that with this. And then selecting another block and like just replacing that with this. That's really what I need to get more comfortable with. So because I already did this on the offset and I already checked for it, what I could do is that, let's see, where it says not to be, avoid, check that oh, I see, I see. A list. A list is different. And then I gotta do validation. So a list is different. Just because of how the front end will go ahead and stringify a list and then pass it on as a media query. For me, I gotta that's different because this has to be like we're not in. We're not in doesn't work with with like one input or like one ID, but it will work with an array. So there's that. I do wonder, I want to see if I could actually make it work with, even if you pass down a thing, if you just stringify it and you pass down the array, I wonder how that will look. If you could still do it, even if though it's just an array with one ID inside. Because like that, I don't have to write two different queries. Or have somebody like break it just because they passed out an array like that. Well, I'm happy with this. So save it. This is test. Let me see. Huh? That's weird. Oh, check the out queries. You gotta love this. Oh, wait a second. That's not gonna work. Let me go check the all queries return. All libraries. Did I got an error there? Yeah, it's not spelled right. Libraries. Save it. There we go. Let's go to the router. How can I say this in a couple characters? So what I did here was I deleted the, which actually I had to delete. So this went away. So what's going on? I will say remove all libraries option. I guess what I'm gonna do is just gonna say some space or whatever. I'll put the comma in space. Let the model know. Check if a option was selected. Damn it. Let model know. Check if an option was selected. What about let model know if an option was selected? Tell model. No, that's it. Let's see. Tell. This is so tedious. If an option fair enough. And the main things we here is if no options were selected, return all libraries. Ta-da! Easy. Let me go ahead and push that. I'm almost done with this branch. Cool. So I want to go ahead and pass a list. Like like the front end would do. What should I say? I want to request resource and validate a response. What else? We should learn how to do in VIM, how to start the normal mode with the correct indentation, or more like insert mode. Hopefully that's an option. So I'm here. So what am I doing? I guess I could go ahead and do that. Start building the requests to the server. It's gonna be a get request. And because I'm using query string, this is gonna be a special one that I'm gonna build. And I guess the main thing that I want to get from here would have to be, I want to parse. This is gonna be list of items to avoid. It's gonna call it avoid. Yeah, just gonna make a list. Let's just call it 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, should be fine. This means that I want to have a limit of 5. I don't need more than that. I also want to have yeah, avoid to equals. This is what I'm gonna start adding the code. JSON stringify, which let me get used to typing. Avoid. And that should pass down. Oh, that's gonna add some. That's gonna add. I need to parse that if that thing's in stringify. Huh. Interesting. I might have to make that. The only way to make our boys is that, yeah, you will have to do it to this way. But let me play around with it and see what happens. Just spot an error, 952 on the end. Still not used to that. There we go. So I could delete one thing like that with this, which is pretty easy. Um, Very interesting. Let's see if if we could find anything. Uh, VIM, insert mode. Indent. Control T. I don't think this is what I was looking for exactly. So now I could go ahead and do that. But I was here. Control T. Control D. Nope. Control D. Control T. Nah, that's not what I'm looking for. What about if I say enter insert mode with a right indentation. This might be the answer. So come here. Let's actually come here and delete that. Let's do that. Gotta make sure I can't go there. CC twice. Hallelujah. Miracle. All right, so that's gonna go to the notes. Insert mode. There's a new way to do it. What the name that new line with indentation. Correctly indented. It's a little verbose, but it's less cryptic. Start new line with correct indentation. That was fine. Cool. That means how to insert a tab, how to select a tab, how to replace, practice. I could have sworn I wrote that somewhere. Nope, don't know. So it wasn't part of the list. Still useful because I wasn't. That was bothering me too much. Anyways, expect status. I think I could easily say 200 just because this is gonna fail. Wait, what? Well, I gotta say console log. What is my response? Yeah, it's gonna fail. So I don't really care about the status. In this case, I could say rest body. that length not to be 5. Now, I just want to make sure that it is 2, and this should fail all the time because it is 5. Okay. Actually, just the opposite. That's always gonna fail because in the end, it's gonna grab the 5 that it gets. So it's not gonna take that away from what it got. So this is always gonna be wrong. And this is always gonna be wrong. That's a wrong idea. What I'm thinking is you cannot find the second ID will not be there. The third ID will not be on the list of 5. That's what I'm thinking. If I spec the rest body and I'm counting from based on 0 and I want to get number 2, so that's number 3. Number 2. So that's number 1. 0, 1. And I want to see the ID. And this cannot be 2. And if I do the same for 3 and 4, 0, 3, this is gonna check it. To fail. And if it tells me it's gonna be because of this. Cool. And I could see that I'm getting 2 and stuff like that. Cool. How you change the tabs and how you move the line. Here, do you just type like Alt? Do I have to assign those? Because if I do Alt and arrow, that works. Wait, what? Shift J, comment stands out. Does that mean I could do this? No, that doesn't comment things out. That takes the space out. Interesting. Anyways. Guess I'll get there when I get there. I want to go to here. You know what? Let me not stringify anything. Control V, WW.
See, I'm not used to that. So Control B, W, W, and this is E. From there, I could do Y, go to line. Well, I should have deleted it. To line 52, G, to the end of it. Now with that, hit B a couple times. Hit W, insert mode. Well, crap. X does cut. Wait, if X cuts a character, wouldn't D also cut? And D cuts a line? Interesting. Whatever. JSON string string GIF file. I don't want to do a console log of that. And I want to say that it is a void. Right, better yet. I think it's just gonna give me the list. It's not gonna do anything special. Centrify is just JSON. Let me see something. I'm just trying to do JavaScript to JSON. I could Google a converter. And it's just this little thing that I want to say. What the hell? This it seems to be fine. Seems to be the same thing. It seems to be the same thing. I want to do a console log over here. Options. It's hard to see with this. What are my options? I also want to go ahead and run this only the failings has until I make a pass. What happens if I don't stringify this? Because for object that works perfectly, but let's see what happens. Do I still get an array? I'm also logging that. Oh, you look at that. When you look at that, if you don't do it, you get a bunch of commas. That's not what I want. Definitely not what I want. If I stringify it, it doesn't take away it doesn't take it doesn't take away the brackets. There's only a problem, which is not really a problem. If this is a string, if the avoid is a string, just parse it. If it's not, let it be. And because I believe the other ones, um, for example, the other values. Oh no, wait a second. Limit is 5. Strength of 5. Would that be okay? But let's run it to connect and see what happens. Just gotta go ahead and change this to not in. JSON.parse. Okay, like that it passes. Connect needs it like that. But if I do it like that, it's gonna break it. I actually need to see this for the other testing. I guess I do have the question of this thing just passing me one of the things. I can answer myself. I can answer that question right away. They still pass? Huh. All I had to do is make sure that this thing is set into on a list for the backend validation. And I could just take on all the numbers that gonna get, make sure that the front end stringify all the avoid lists and everything that has to pass it down to me on a list because in works with a single number. And we're not only works just for a single number, but we're not in
works for any list. What will happen if I send one? If I send an empty list? 60, comment that out, run it. Would it pass or not? Well, I guess I'll need to comment that and see what I'm getting. It didn't broke. That's what matters. So the answer is yeah, you could pass an empty one. What is my default for that router? I guess I could just do this. JSON stringify a little verbose for sure, but this works. I parse it, I do this, and I make sure the front end team does that for every list it passes. Just something we had to do. That's how we could make this thing work. Hmm. Very weird. If you strengthify it, you should not have a problem. But that means I have to go ahead and fix the other tasks. Well, technically, what the heck? I could just get rid of the avoid here because I made a specific test for that in the bottom. And I'm pretty happy with that. I feel comfortable now with the nature of that we're not in. And I feel comfortable passing things to that will actually take, but not a problem. As long as you're strengthified the list, you're good to go. So I just gotta change the documentation a little bit. Just say here, not that one. Probably gonna make a copy of this, so get all the documentation, then grab the ones that I need to update. And when I push the current one, then I could push the new documentation and update the link. I might do that. Or I could just take it one step at a time. Don't touch that so I don't have to upload anything new. So the avoid. That must be strengthified. Stringify, I think that's how it is. Let me review that documentation real quick. MDN Stringify. Oh, okay, and I'm having power issues.
I should fix it.
Hmm. Uh-oh. Well, computer's lagging. Okay. So it's basically just make it into a JSON. See, this is important to add those around because it basically keeps like the formatting, the brackets and the symbols. That's what I noticed. That's why it's so important. That's the whole reason to stringify, because if you don't, it doesn't keep the symbols, the brackets, or the objects. In my case, the brackets. And that's how the connects will know you actually sending a list. That's the whole reason why you need to do that. So my documentation, just gotta let them know that you must stringify it. Double check the spelling. Of course. Let's see. String. Okay, there it is. And with that, I'm happy. Let's go document that. So what did I make here? That's all getting easier. So I just checked. Um, this libraries to be avoided. Just use a different word. Ignore. Is that a feature? That's more like a law. Let's go into this. Change full value to be stringify. Yep. And here, all I did was, this looks simple, but I had to actually understand deeply what the word not in actually did and what it actually wanted as an input.
I changed one line of code. God damn it. God damn it. Looks like I didn't do anything. Take away the console log. Well, I say that, but do I? Yeah, whatever. Um, just call it ignore a given list of libraries. ID. There. Simple. All right, let's go to the next test. So check out validation works. Okay, now we're dealing with validation. What would I do? I'm almost gonna take a break. It's been an hour and something. Well, first thing is first. Let me make a test. Wait, what? How did that went? Okay, this is more like, oh, do control. What was it? Control B, Control Shift B. How you close the panel? There we go. All right, it is Control B. So let me, what are the what are the validations that I'm gonna use? Limit integer max 100. Order ascending or descending. Only pick up, I could say one of. After that, you could say offset integer and void needs to be an array. It needs to be integers. That's it. I could go ahead and make, at least for a void and limit, I could test them separately because I need to do two tests for them. Interesting. Let's see, making sure.
Yeah, so let's continue. Um, what am I doing? I'm making the validation. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and request the server with invalid inputs. Custom request, I got a response, awaited, and then you say request the server. Then you say get request. Um, this is a package. This is definitely a package. I want this to be a description, and then I want things to be. I'm gonna go ahead and just validate everything, all the permutations that it doesn't pass to negative. The limitation is for negative max to that, minimum to 1. That's a range. Yeah. Let's see now. So for sure, on the URL, by looking at this, I want to make this into a description. Describe, I think it was. I could take away that. What the hell? Can I just say whatever? I'll go to the I could go to the bottom. Now I can make a test. I could say like one. I test for each one. I could. I'd rather test because if I could go ahead and take order and offset out of the way and take one of the limit and one of the avoid right away. Because I want that to fail because it's not an integer, and I want it to fail because it's out of bound. I want it to fail because it's not an array. I want it to fail because it's not an integer. So I want both of them. Fail because limit. I'm gonna take the first one and then I'm gonna go for the second one. Make it easier on me. Limit not a integer. Order not ascend or descend. Offset not an integer and avoid. Let me make sure that I could change that. just like that. So go back to line 62, go back to the end, add an integer. There's a couple things I could do here. I could do that. Make it a new 9. Make it into its own thing. And with that, I could, okay, look at that. If you hit down, it doesn't do that. So make a new line. Actually, have a little space. Crap. It's gonna look awful. Why does it keep doing that? Look at that. Once I take that off, getting message to one of my coworkers. I might get him to join me. So fail because no limit, no order, new line. Offset's not an integer, and gotta hate that. Control B, X, X again. Okay, so that's that. Um, yeah. Async. Okay, so how on earth can I Control B shift doesn't do anything. Control Alt B doesn't do anything. What Control B? No. Control C, Control X. Okay. Control V doesn't do anything. Control X. It actually takes something away. Control C. What happened? Okay, so I want to be able to select this and move it down. Looks like he's not gonna join me. So it's a great opportunity to learn that. So BIM, select a block, which if I remember right, I should have notes about that. BIM delete. Mapping to move lines. Normal mode or insert mode. Press those guys. to move a line. Wait, what? I might press MA to place a mark on A on line 5. Then that's 35 to move to line 35. Shift B to enter likewise visual mode. And finally, to select a blank, to select back to mark. What? What the hell? Oh wow, that switches from that. What the hell? So if I'm in 65G and I go to 77 and I hit the double one. Oh wow, look at that. It goes back to where you were. Interesting. If I hit Control B, and what happened if I hit to 65G? 65G. Nope. Control B. It says visual block. Okay. What about what can I do with visual block? VIM visual block. So this is visual mode. Oh. Oh my God. Control B, you could select a character. B, you select everything. And all I had to do is literally just select B and go to, let me see something. Would it go to the line I want? It's selecting it right now by words. I could go up and down with it. Can I jump into to a specific line? That's all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted. So I could just do B. And I could probably could do D. There we go. You're a little more comfortable with that. How to oh, I did practice that. The answer is B, then G. Number line to G plus G. I should be able to understand this. So I could literally just do that.
Okay, so let's just do it. So I just hit B and I hit it to 278G. I hit D. I move twice up. I hit paste. Ta-da! Cool. So now, well, I don't want this here. I actually want this on, say, paste. I actually want this here. And I want to indent this better. So how you deal with the indentation? I would say VIM, normal mode. Oh wow, I can indent it right away. So it looks like I hit the equal sign twice. Doesn't do anything. So if I hit B, 75G, and I hit that, it's not doing anything. Preferences, settings, format. What the heck? Too many. No, that's not what I want. I want to add an indentation. C tab and CS tab. Let's see. C tab, CS tab. God damn it, that should be. Nope. Control Shift Tab. Of course not. It opens. It does everything that I don't want it to do. This is hard to read. Just one line should be fine. Control T, Control T. That might be a. Let's see. Well, that's doing something else. Control D, Control T. Hey, wait a second. Not what I want. That works on. Yeah. Insert mode, but I want normal mode. Okay, putting this on the side. Let's practice this. So you could do something with P. P space. So bracket P. Did it crash then? It just crashed it. Well, no bueno. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, I don't know. That may work. Not exactly what I'm looking for. Let's say over here, I want to change the indentation of that. It's technically on the right path. Oh, look at that. The answer is the brackets. Let me see something. I feel like I went over that before. All right, so the answer to what I wanted to insert a tab, just those on those. That's how you do that. Okay, that's just barely indented. So I want to go ahead and go to like 63. I do visual mode. I go select to line 64. I indent that. Oh no. I'll have to select to line 73. What happened? Line 63. Visual mode. Line 73. Indent that. And I'm good to go. That's how you do that. Cool. Okay. Feel more comfortable with it. I could do the same thing that I was able to do, but now what can I say is it feels faster. But that took forever to learn. Stack Overflow had a better documentation. What happens if I do 5 and I do 2 of those? Whoa. Whoa, look at that. I don't have to select the visual mode. That's actually faster. Do this, you could do I and you could do B. Or you indent the whole block. Well, that's interesting. This I B. Go back. So greater I. Oh, come on, not again. Greater I B. It is the whole block.
So what happens with you say go to this. I believe you do ampersand. No, doesn't do anything. So let's do indent it with the ampersand. Nothing happened. All right, that's actually pretty good stuff. So what I was looking for, there was that, but I'm gonna take a little bit more. Just gonna call it others. I'm gonna take this one step at a time, just feel comfortable with doing those two, and I'll take it from there. The number one and doing it like that, I'm gonna use that a lot. Those small cases that I will, and this one I feel like I will, and this thing I gotta check that it's actually true, because that could be a daily driver. All right, to answer that question. Huh, look at that. I could go to 78G and indent this. Why did it went twice? Why didn't select anything? That's weird. It's like only gonna want to work when it wants to. Oh, I was doing something else, I guess. That should be fine. Nice. Nice. I could actually solve. I could work with this. I have the one that I'm used to, which is just the tabs, and now I have this. Okay. So now I want to do like a request validate response. I should be expecting response status to be 4. I also want to do a console log, the rest body. And I could go from there. I need to enter the wrong validations. And I guess I could. Hmm, Where I still don't have that like easy control.
Temp, I need to delete that. How did that happen? Okay, so instead of that, there's an easier thing that I could do. I could just move to that, and there should be something that I could replace it with. So right now, the point is not about the testing itself. It's mostly about going to like a second level of VIM, and that's why the process that I'm going through with the first test-driven development is really slow right now, because I'm spending a lot more time on researching VIM and actually using this to practice with it, which I think is worth it, because this is something that prevents me from using the mouse, not too dependent on it, at least less dependent on it. I start to feel more comfortable. I see the value right away, and it just helps me to avoid that carpal tunnel on my wrist. So even though sometimes I just want to use the mouse for everything, I don't want to fall into the pit of carpal tunnel and hurting myself. So even though I had to use it for like the browser, for I think there's like a bin for Chrome, so I get used to this. I could use bin for Chrome and lose the dependency what I for the mouse. It could only help me. I'll pass that along to Bikash or other coworkers if they want to hear. Let me see. I could just go to Chrome, look into BIM, um, normal mode, replace character. Or what? Replace mode. Is that replace mode? Let me see something. BIM modes. What? You could do A and move it to the N. Little optimizations that I'm looking into. But for now, oh man, I could control B, block visual, likewise. Always select full line, shift B. Okay, command mode, replace mode. Oh, that's what's happening. I'm using lowercase r instead of capitalized R.
Oh, so on this case, I'm right here. I want to press Shift R, and there we go. Wait, and all I have to do is just go to another mode. Okay, so let's make this a little more table. And so to the right, there is insert mode, big R, better yet, Shift plus R, like normal, like general, text editor, insertion mode. Okay, it has its uses. Does that answer my question? I selected and I paste the other one. So yes, this answered my question right here. This is part of that. Start insert mode with the correct indentation. Yep, that answers that. This is that. You know what's funny? I wonder you could use this bin for one node. I wonder. Okay, yes you can. And this is how. I feel like I need a small break. So I'll take my time with that. But everything I've been learning for Visual Studio Code, I could go ahead and learn it for here, which would be great. There is no lines, so that would suck. But I guess I could make it appear with a ruler or something, or they could do something about that because I would love to just jump around that and like do that. And everything I've been learning here, actually like use it here. It'll just be much better. I'm about to put BIM on OneNote, my note-taking software, on Chrome, my web browsing software, and I already have it on Visual Studio Code, my coloring software. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break.